All right,
Now
ladies
this,
and gentlemen, boys and girls, worshippers of all ages, welcome to Game 1 of the Verizon Branches Challenge. Zath, what were you going to say?
I was gonna say, this feels so good to be back into this now.
Yeah, back in
I
the
can't wait.
saddle again, as the song
That's
goes.
right.
That's right.
That's right.
Zath and I have,
Well,
have,
who do you?
have a lot of competitive experience working together, well over 200 games of King of the Sea. This is going to be a ton of fun, because this is not King of the Sea, Zath.
No, it is not. It's King of the Trident in this
Yes,
particular
it is
case.
indeed. It is indeed. I tell you what, take us in and take us through the army lineup, if you would.
Sure. So on the army side of things, they're starting off with the destroyers. They have the Monahan and the Ted 61. In terms of cruisers, we have Duca d'Aosta, Molotov, Graf Spee, and Leander. And look at that, the very own Verizon Wireless collaboration
Yep.
battleship Arizona.
Couldn't have planned that much
What do we,
better.
right? What do we got over for Marines?
The Marines coming to the dance with a Russian boat. A little bit of Tier 6 Russian battleship Ismail here. Out in front, a Graf Spee, a pair of Makarovs. No, double Spee. I see. Yeah, okay, we got one Spee and then one high school fleet Spee. But two Graf Spees, two Makarovs,
Correct.
and then led out by a Shinonome and a T-61. Now, it's notable to me that both teams have opted for a T-61. She is arguably one of the strongest destroyers in this tier. But the other
Mm.
destroyer, both teams have opted for something a little different.
Yeah, it's interesting. So Monahan, being a USN destroyer, has the that torpedo range of 9.2 kilometer, which at tier 6 is quite lethal. And it's got the USN smoke, whereas on the other side, the Shinonome is a more of like a middle tier Japanese destroyer, to where it's got pretty good guns and it's got torpedoes that can not reach as far as the other tier 6 destroyers, but they still pack a great punch.
Monahan is one of those ships that comes in multiple different configurations, right? And what the one that the Army has chosen here is she only has two guns on the bow, and then she has a pair of quintuple torpedo launchers. All of her stern guns were removed. This is a late war modification and replaced with anti-aircraft guns. Those won't come into play this match, but those torpedo launchers could be devastating in the right scenario.
Absolutely.
Now, we see here the Marines going for a bit of an AC split. The Shinonome will be on to A momentarily as Atreides' dad touches the top end of the C cap. He'll be countered momentarily by Reshe on the bottom end.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if those two end up in just like a hydro standoff, just sitting there angrily, shaking fists at each other.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I gotta say, early on, I don't know that I like what the Army has done. They've kind of gone for this real heavy eastern flank push, but they don't have anybody onto the B cap yet. That's points they're leaving on the board. They could have those already.
Sure, I think they wanted to make sure that the Monahan wouldn't face spot the Shinonome before everybody was ready to go. On this map in particular, BC is very common because if you send a significant force to A, you get really cut off from the rest of the battle for a couple of minutes, but those couple of minutes could be decisive.
True, and the Marines have they've done that a little bit of that. They've paired up a Spey and a Makarov. One of the Marine Makarovs just taking a big hit there. Dragon Gunner way over on the 8 line. But Oni and Crash Bandit here I think they're going to figure out very quickly that there's not really anybody over here, and they pretty much have free reign of the A cap.
Hmm.
See the Army going for the early focus fire on Dragon Gunner's Makarov after that big hit he took. I can only assume that was some Molotov AP. Could have been the Zona.
Yeah, could have been. Could have been. That Molotov, of course, has those tier 8 Donskoy guns. Well, now they're tier 9 Donskoy guns. 180 millimeter. Really good armor penetration capabilities.
Molotov is one of my favorite Tier 6 cruisers, but she is incredibly fragile. She takes full pen damage from just about any angle and anything you shoot at her.
Mm-hmm.
Early cap advantage going out to the Marines here. These are 15-minute games as opposed to the traditional 20 in competitive play. So you see there the timer already down to coming up on 11 minutes.
Yep. Warder now coming under some sustained fire, had to smoke up. Looks like he's going to be fine for a while.
Now, what's interesting... Yeah, both destroyers. You just saw that. Go ahead.
Yeah. Both destroyers move into sea. I think this is a bit of a mistake because that denies an awful lot of vision for the other side of the map for the army.
Well, and it's also going to allow Reunites' Shinonome to just step into B now and flip that cap, which is currently the only points that Army is ticking up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't like putting both destroyers in the one cap at this stage of the game. There might be a point where that's useful, but I don't feel like this is it right now. If nothing else, Atreides is holding those points back. Go ahead.
And I'm going to mention he's also using Hydro. He was detecting Reshi for a while. Reshi was detecting the other TED 61. Of course, they've now left distance, so they can no longer detect each other on Hydro. So we have a whole lot of nothing going on at sea, and a whole lot of everything else going on in the rest of the map.
Indeed. We see their Reunites is going to pick up B. I don't think there's any way they can spot him to stop it at this stage. The Army has turned around a couple of ships to kind of deal with Oni and Crash Bandit working this western flank, but Oni's doing a great job of showing them his Nuremberg clone's stern, essentially. That's what Makarov basically is.
Mm-hmm.
One of those weird games where, you know, everybody jokes about obligatory exploding Makarov, but I mean obligatory exploding Nuremberg, but if you play that ship well, she can sustain a surprising amount of fire, especially when you show the enemy your stern.
Well, and Oni is doing what you really want to do in a Nuremberg Makarov clone, which is to be kiting away using all three of the guns and being prepared to turn and dodge as necessary.
Indeed. Poor Duke of Clarence drawing all of his ire right now, all of those shells landing on him for full pens because that's just how Molotov's armor scheme works.
That's right. Ishmael guns came in too. Didn't do much.
A little bit of destroyer action over at sea. Reunites his Shinonome, kind of getting tag teamed here. But he's going to be okay. He's got some cover now from one of the destroyers. As Stumbling is headed back towards B, backed up by Warder's Leander. I think Army's going to be able to grab B back without much difficulty here.
Well, it looks like the Marines did the same thing the Army did earlier. They brought both destroyers back, and I think that's a mistake. Oh, there's our first kill of the game.
First blood going to the Marine Corps here as one of the Graf Speys does finally bag that poor Molotov. Now, we haven't talked about it, but Atreides' T-61 is very, very beat up back here. He's going to have a hard time staying in close where he might get shot at again.
Shadow just took a whole bunch of, I think, TED 61 torps. Maybe those are Monahans.
Yeah, he took at least... those were Monahan torps, I believe. And it looks like is Ryu hydroed in there? Yes, he is. Looks like it.
Yep.
Right at the edge of that T-61 hydro, that one of those things that makes her so nasty in this tier. Trying to get some cover and being pushed by aggressively by Welded Steel's Graf Spee.
Look at the fight in the corner, though, as Hops in the Duca now is finding himself surrounded on all sides by Marines.
This is, that's interesting. You point that out, indeed.
Yeah.
The army is surrounded by Marines. That's an odd turn of phrase, but certainly accurate in this instance. Yep. Looking like both...
there goes Atreides.
I would say both Marine Corps destroyers are going to be off the board shortly. There goes one, and here goes the other. Army with a very aggressive push through C, but it's playing out for them really well right now. As they're definitely back in this game as we cross over the halfway mark.
Oh, absolutely, yes. Oni still trying to do work over on the flank there. He's starting to work down that Arizona. Oh, showing broadside to the Ishmael, not a good idea.
Yeah, if they can take out the Army battleship, that will make a huge impact in this game. Both teams only have one battleship, and it is a solid board control piece. But right now, momentum is definitely with Army. They're up now 2 ships and a cap here. There's our first lead change.
This is the point where I'd love to see the Monahan just come out and YOLO charge that Ishmael.
I think yeah, he could absolutely get away with it too, and I don't think there's anything the Ismail could do about it. In fact, the Ismail's about to offer him the opportunity. They do finally bag the Duca as there goes one of the Makarovs. So trading ships there, Army retains their 2-ship lead and their cap advantage. Yeah, I feel like Stumbling is playing this maybe a little too cautiously, Zath. He could absolutely move right up and just trash this Ismail. And this Ismail's about to put the Arizona out of his misery.
Well, and at the very least, it'll take the Ishmael out of the fight and give Maverick a little bit of time to try to, get out of there or heal up or something.
Indeed. Now, At the end here, the Marines they only have 3 board pieces left, and 2 of them are on the 2 line. So the kiting has worked. They're going to get this Arizona, although he's healing now. But I mean, it's going to leave them in a weird, like, they're not going to have great board position to get back to the middle, other than Gunny Chuck's Ismail here.
That's right.
They do finally bag the Arizona. That flips the lead back momentarily. Yeah, Stumblings, I think, is playing this just a little too cautiously in the Monahan. Tier 6 is one of those tiers
Absolutely.
where you can still charge a battleship and get away with it.
Well, and let's be real. I'm sure he's worried about the 2 cruisers that are on the G2 area. But thing is, they were so focused on getting that Arizona down. I don't necessarily know that they would all just turn their guns and immediately gun him down.
No.
I think he definitely could have gotten away with it.
Yeah.
That being said, like you mentioned, Army's on 2 caps right now. They're on a ship lead. So why push and potentially throw away a ship?
Fair point. Like, I guess maybe that's the thinking, is that there's not really a need to make that play, but I mean, it would absolutely seal the deal. Right now, Gunny's the most important ship on the field, right? He's the thing with the biggest guns, the most amount of health, and certainly with the most surviving HP available to him with his heal buttons. So he is going to be integral to how this remaining engagement plays out. We're under 5 minutes now. Army has retaken the lead, but it's a very narrow lead, a very fragile one. A single ship kill will flip that back. And if the Marines can get back into the middle of the board, this could all change. This could all fall apart in a real hurry.
Yep. Now check it out. Rishi's trying to go around from the backside.
Oh,
of Gunny.
look at the torpedo beats.
Yep.
But he's going to eat some from the
But
Leander.
He's not going to dodge these.
He's going to eat all 4 from the Leander. That's going to leave a huge hole in his health pool. Almost kills him. Leaves him on 2,800 now. Trying to push in here. He dodged the Monahan torps brilliantly, but just not able to dodge the rest. And I guess he doesn't have a heal. He's going to go out. They're going to get him here.
Oh, yeah.
Reshi moves back into the A-cap to put even more pressure on the surviving Marines as Army goes back up to a 2-ship lead here. There's a way... is there a way back at this point, Zath?
Yes. Welded steel has to go down.
Yeah.
And you can see that Oni is trying to focus him down heavily.
They need to kill.
And then what they need to do is they need to just bum rush either A or B and hope they can trap at least 1 destroyer, if not both of them. It's going to be tough.
It is. It's interesting to me that
they might be able to do it.
They seem to be shooting at the Spey, which is not the target I would have picked out. That Makarov is a much softer target.
That is true, yes.
All down to execution at this point. Army firmly in the driver's seat here in this game. It's simply a question of whether or not the surviving Marines can pull this off.
Welded steel is going to go down.
Yeah, they're going to bag him here in a few more shells. There he goes. That's points the Marine Corps badly needs here. That does close the gap a bit, but Army's still leading by over 200 points. Let's look at it from let's look at it from the Marine Corps' perspective here. We need to see what they can see. Here we go. Because if they can't see a destroyer, they can't kill it, and that's the critical play. They can see stumbling
now.
And they've just now got eyes on Reshe.
Oni's going to have to turn hard. He wants to keep his angle so he can get all of his guns, but he's going to have to turn, and that's going to mean he can only fire his bow gun.
And he's going to have to keep the angle, or the Leander can just wipe him out right off the board. They're focused on the Monahan. Time ticking away here. I don't think they can get on. I don't think they can do it, Zath. They're with no caps.
I think they can.
You think so? With
no
caps in their control.
There goes.
All right.
Time extension. Now they have to kill the T-61.
Yep. The Marines have tied it up now. 2 surviving ships on each team, but Army in control of the entire board here. They're trying... I guess I assume Crash has got... As now the
Leander also smoking.
The Leander
ruining... Now, that's a bad...
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you take it.
I was going to say, Leander putting the smoke up there is going to deny himself vision.
But Zath, there's only 60 seconds left on the timer. They can't get there. The Caps won't.
Oh, that's right. We forgot about that.
It's a
didn't we?
15-minute game. The Caps will not do it. The Marines have rallied for a brilliant comeback, but it's just not going to be enough in the end. They are going to bag B. They're going to be able to bag A, but unless they kill this Leander, they will not win this game. And I think that's why he smoked. He realizes that all he has to do is break line of sight, run and live, and the Army will carry this game.
Yeah. Brilliant decision there by Warder.
Absolutely.
To hold off. Yep, 27 seconds to go.
Time ticking away, and Army's going to win this game. There's just unless Warder just screws up, there's just no way the Marines can come back. Unfortunately, I think we talked about it at the time, right? The Ismail charge, I feel like, was probably the right call, but man, you look back on it now, and that was catastrophic. Man,
the problem with the Ishmael charge was that he charged alone. He really needed to get Oni and the Grash Bay that was next to him. They got to get turned around, and they got to be pushing with him, because what the Ishmael charging alone did was it allowed the Army to just focus all of their torpedoes on that one ship.
Yep. All right, well,
gentlemen,
there you go.